but unfortunately my footage was corrupted by the fact that I didn't press record. Due to travel logistics, this trip started in Milan and I had about 3 hours to kill. So went to the centre, had a look at the Duomo, which as you can see they've cleaned the marble up and it looks beautiful. First time I visited 20 odd years ago it was all just grey and dark, but they've cleaned it up. And you'll see it's exactly where we were in the Alfa Romeo when we was on the Mille Miglia. So you'll see here the Umberto Bocciani, which is a very famous sculpture, you might have seen it before. Got a little bit of the Spirit of Ecstasy about it, hasn't it? Now, I think it was done in 1912, so you know that's a long time ago for something so modern. But you can see the movement in it. So it's called Unique Forms of Continuity in Space. I think someone's called it The Cyclist, but I don't know about that. But obviously he's a famous futurist, Italian futurist. Of course you'll recognise this one, won't you, and who it is. But that's obviously a Warhol, genuine Warhol. And we know who she is. If you don't, you're too young, shouldn't be watching this. Particularly like this, got a look of sort of Keith Haring about it, hasn't it? So I reckon he must have been influenced by this one. Like this one, I like the sort of graphics to it, typography. 1975, good year. And this is actually an installation on its own. You see the 1975 bit. So that's actually one work of art, but made up of different things. But anyway, I can't bring any more to it than that. And of course the anecdote about this chap, wasn't it? The Battellini guy is when you see this is him in the cartoon. That was actually the guy who invented it and ran the company. And upon his death, he was cremated, and he had his ashes put in a coffee pot. So in his mausoleum, there's a 3-foot high coffee pot with his ashes in it. So let's hope no one brews it up, eh? So here we are, the entrance, the Auto Moto a Coppa, the old car show. And we're in Bologna now, which formerly this was always in Padova, but Bologna is a suitable replacement for Padova. So we've got a body shell here, reproduction body shell for Alfa Romeo TZ2 I think, if it's got the flared arches on the back. Some Arbath bits, you know I like the Arbath stuff. There you go. Remember you had all that dynamo trouble on the Mille? There's a load for sale. And a Ferrari cylinder head by the looks of it. Anyway, don't need them anymore. Done the job, haven't we? Done the Mille. There's some Fiat 600 stuff. Very pretty, isn't it? I like this. This guy sells all this sort of petrol stuff. I've said about it before. Lovely Bianchi bicycle stuff. As you know, I like them. And isn't this Maserati sign cute? I was quite keen on that, but it would have blown my budget on the first few minutes just buying that. And it wasn't there the following day, so someone blew their budget on it. Probably not, probably richer than me, probably can afford it. This sort of stuff, so this is what the guy sells. And him and his wife dress up in period gear, you see here? So they got a period uniform on, which I've mentioned him before, haven't I? But yeah, he's now roped his wife into doing it. Karl Arbath, there he is. There's some little postcards they used to send out back in the day. So they're original, they're genuine. Fiat Multipla cutaway, lovely poster, I should have bought that. Love this Fiat sign. Inside to stand next to it for scale. Some reflectors, shiny things, a bit like a jackdaw, aren't I, looking at this stuff. And there's the guys selling their shiny bits. I don't know what this was, some model of a military vehicle, but I thought that was just intrigued me. This is lovely, Porcelain GTA. Now this engine won't be recognised by everyone, but that's actually Steyr Puch, so it's a horizontal twin, Austrian Steyr company, and you see the boot lid behind it. That's not a Fiat 500 one, that's a Steyr one. They're slightly different looking. So I was quite surprised to see one of them there. So normally a Fiat 500 has the upright, doesn't it? It sits upright, and it's an inline twin, whereas this is horizontally posed. You'll see the cylinder heads either side. So it's a little bit like a mini Porsche. They go a bit like a mini Porsche as well. Lovely Agip sign, I coveted that, I'd like that one. And the Fiat service sign. Here's a Fiat 500 tuning equipment, so little cylinder head, and you see this is a Vatsa. which, if you remember, my mate in Italy has got all of Vatsa engine in his one, hasn't he? Which will be on the Arbuff track day if you go back and look at that. But they've got this new design of a sort of cooling for the rocker cover area, and you see the twin port. So yeah, I quite like that. I think that looks cool with that radial sort of style, sort of motorcycle looking. Got some proper stoppers here, Fiat 500 upgrade brakes. Lovely Fiat Arrow, I like these ones. Ferrari BB handbook. And I like this little Fiat 600 model, and I've just stuck my hand in there for scale really. But yeah, it's nicely done that. These signs are all new, but you know, it's nice they still do them, and they picked some nice ones to recreate. I've got that one, the real one of that. This is this girl from France always brings these over, so they're all linen backed film posters, beautiful, aren't they? So quite taking the scooters. Yeah, and then yeah, that Mercedes. And here we are, Debbie Reynolds. Well, Debbie Reynolds is Carrie Fisher's mum, isn't she? Princess Leia. And if you're my age, you grew up rather in love with Carrie Fisher, probably. Which is tragic, wasn't it, that she died just a couple of days before Debbie Reynolds? So you must, you know, sort of, you know, you almost sort of say died of heartbreak, didn't she? But there we are. But there she is on a Lambretta, and as you know, I like a Lambretta. Again, more of this stuff. It's just pretty, isn't it? Spark plugs and Steve McQueen, King of Cool. And this is that little poster I particularly like from the Targa Floria. And I like this little Alpha 105, little rally badge. This is original stuff, Ducati motorbike stuff. So you can see there's just so much here, isn't there? This set of gauges is for setting up your carburetors. So that's vacuum gauges. You've got 6 of them, so that's for a 6-cylinder. And you'll recognise, if you're like me, they're Dunlop trammel gauges for doing your suspension, doing your tracking. And then this is also suspension stuff in front here. So these guys have sort of real race derived stuff. There's some Arbuff sumps there, split sump, lovely Maserati handbook, Maserati spark plugs. You can see it's backlit, lovely case. Well, that's because it's so expensive. But there we are, all the Maserati brochures and handbooks. So yeah, wouldn't mind some of them. Little flag to go with your on the back of your scooter. And here we have a 2-litre fuel tank in steel reproduction. This is being made by Pasquale, so that's nice. They're now available. Mistral rear lights, Pasquale had them. And here's Neptune with his Maserati Lance. More of Neptune later. Cougar Fisher injection for a little Fiat 128. And then these wings, well, you know, just some old body panels. But not just any body panels. You've got Alfa Montreal rear quarter there, and an Alfa Zagato Alfa SZ. And then lower you've got the Ferrari grills and so on. So yeah, that's the sort of stuff you can find that you just will find nowhere else. Jolly, well, we do like a Jolly. This is nice, this little Flaminia mock-up. And these Lancia badges you used to get when you back in the day. You'd buy them from Lancia themselves, and you'd collect the little stars to go on it if you know, if you were a very dedicated member of the owners club. Although actually I don't know that much about it. I think it was an in-house owners club, the Hi-Fi Club, High Fidelity, which is why it's got Hi-Fi written on it. Not because you had a nice radio. This is fun. So this is actually a gear stick with a little watch in it. So you know, for column change. So you know, almost tempted to get a column change car just to have that on it. We should have had it on the Alfa Romeo, shouldn't we? Some rally clocks on it, because that's column change. The one on the Mini. So this is the turbine car. And it's a porcelain model of it, which I think I've photographed before. But yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? This is pretty, isn't it? Fiat 600 in white, 10,000 euros. Which, you know, it's good. You couldn't restore one for that money. A little 128 Estate. I used to have one of these briefly. There it is. Again, about 10. Topolino. Well, I'm a sucker for Topolino. Original condition, hence the dents. Never been painted. Yeah, I like that. Detailed shot of a engine bay on a Fiat Dino, just to show how the rubber goes around the edge of it. A Sebring Series 2. A pretty car. Flaminia, little Porsche. Now that's something, isn't it? More of that later. Yeah, we like these. There's lots of this signage stuff. And here we are. Nice panning shot of it. Yeah, it really is something, isn't it? Yeah, this sort of stuff, I mean, you'd like to take it home on. Well, I would anyway. So the Alfa Romeo sign, my friend pointed out, they don't normally have that arrow bit on the front, and that is actually a separate part. So yeah, I've never seen that before. We normally just see the normal bit. Bit of, not really neon, but you know, nice, isn't it? That big shell one, I like that. And there he is nonchalantly on his phone, isn't he? But yeah, the workbench is nice as well at the back there, with all the spanners and stuff. And there we pan round to see the sort of enormity of these halls full of cars. I mean, this is just one of them. There's about 5 this size, I think. Ah, this Porsche's something special, isn't it? Not my usual stuff, but I thought that's quite nice. Them centre lock wheels and everything. It's very in vogue, this stuff, isn't it? Now this I like a lot, little multipler. Now this actually was one of my favourite cars of the show. Original mileage and original paint. So upstage is that other one we were just looking at. But yeah, I particularly like that. I like that colour. Works well. But anyway, I'm sure you're here for more exotic stuff, not Fiat multiplers. I thought this work was nice, this guy's work with these sort of scrapyard stuff. And there we are. Fiat Dino, Spider, you see it? And an Aurelia. A little Saab, Fulvia. Yeah, this is the chap, so I have to look him up on Google, see what else he does. This is the Potato. Now this is what controls your fuel injection metering on a Cougar Fisher. So I'm interested in that for the Arvath. So I had a good chat with these lads about that. Now into some panel beating stuff. There's the Echo trinkers and just some details on, you know, for those that like tools. I do. So I'll photograph stuff like this. But you know, I'm working on Italian coach work. I really need to know about the Italian tools, don't I? I've got a friend in America who's mad for this stuff. This little body horse thing, this is how they make stuff. And there's the chap himself, the master. And the show finished, and we're out for the night.